Splendid. I'll take it from here.
Are you going to kill him?
Of course. But first, I will make him pay for hurting Ivan.
That seemed like a pretty brutal cutscene, but the thing is, it only gets worse from here. I remember this torture scene shocked me as a kid. I mean, I watched horror movies at a young age, so it's not as if the violence bothered me in that sense, but I was just shocked that a video game could show this level of violence. I mean, I played things like Grand Theft Auto as a kid, but the violence in those games is really cartoony. And of course, in this scene, the violence is a bit more, well, you know, a lot darker. So this actually really shocked me as a kid. Like, I didn't realise they could show violence like this in a game. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were games like Manhunt, but I actually never played Manhunt as a kid. And I've heard, you know, Manhunt is supposed to be a pretty sick game.
I guess he's dead.
And that was Sokolov that Volgin just killed, right?
Now then, I hope you'll prove more entertaining than he was. But first, let's take a look at your body, shall we? What a beautiful body you have, like a newborn baby.
That line of dialogue changes depending on how many injuries you have received throughout the game. So Volgin said that because I haven't received many injuries throughout the game. He says something like, you've clearly had your fair share of battles if you've gotten injured a lot.
Is it the Shagohod?
My health is going down right now, but you can actually stop your health from going down if you hold down the R2 button. I'm not going to bother doing that though.
Answer me. Who is helping you? Who let you in here? You're a tough one, but even you must have your limits. And I am a patient man. Here's where the fun really begins. I fought body carries an electric charge of 10 million volts. Let's see how you like this. Now answer me. How much does the CIA know? They're after my legacy, aren't they? Your real target is the Philosopher's legacy, isn't it? Yes. Let yourself go. That's what I want to see.
It's no use. He's not going to talk. He's been trained not to break. Trained by me.
Admit it! We're after the location of the legacy! The secret fund established by the three great powers during the 2 world wars. That's what you're looking for, isn't it? $100 billion, divided up and hidden all over the world. And you're looking for a record of where all that money is hidden, right? No matter. The Philosopher's legacy is safely in my possession, in the underground vault of Groznygrad. You'll never lay your finger on it. What's this? A transmitter? Who's responsible for this?
I am. I planted it on him to keep track of his movements.
Why?
So the Cobras could ambush him.
If they knew where he was gonna be, they wouldn't have gotten themselves slaughtered. It pains me to do this, boss, but under the circumstances, I'm afraid I must ask you to show me some proof that you and he were not in collusion.
You don't trust me, is that it?
Not that, but he is your apprentice.
What do you want me to do?
Let's see. Cut out his eyes. I don't like those blue eyes of his. There's nothing more important to a soldier than his eyes. You made him a soldier, and now you will unmake him. Yes, it'll make for a...
If this was a sequel and Solid Snake was in this situation, I would be pretty confident that he's going to get out of it. Like, there's no way they're going to cut out one of his eyes. But because this is, you know, a prequel and it's Big Boss, and of course Big Boss only has one eye, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, you know they're not messing around.
What is it, Tanya?
He's suffered enough.
Well, well. Why are you protecting him? That smell. Tatiana! You're the spy!
What are you talking about?
I know that smell.
Stop it!
Taking a fancy to her, eh, Ocelot?
No. I have no interest in this woman. I want to test her. I'll let this be the judge.
Do as you like.
Here we go.
There. Satisfied now?
Well, that was refreshing. Come, we're going to my room.
So you survived the Colonel's torture, eh? Watching this has made me realize something. It's really not that bad. It's the ultimate form of expression. You got lucky this time, Tatiana.
Run!
And that's the second time you see 14475.
I've prepared an escape route for us. Go out and head west. Pass underneath the connecting passageway and go north. You'll find an open manhole there.
You're...
Quiet! Go through the manhole down into the sewers. The door at the north end of the sewers is unlocked. You can use it to get outside the fortress. I've got your equipment. We'll meet up later.
Eva...
But I can't get too close to your cell. You'll have to figure a way out of there yourself. I'll be in touch.
Okay, so before I do anything here, I just want to call paramedic. Well, save my game. Because there's a pretty...
Save Snake?
Well, you know... a pretty interesting conversation, let's say.
Snake? Snake?
My mouth hurts when I talk.
Did you get cut up?
It feels like someone shoved me under a lawnmower. Do me a favor. Tell me a story to take my mind off the pain.
Snake, have you ever heard of Renfield?
Is that
Dracula Renfield?
It's the name of a character. He's locked up in a cell waiting for the Master to return, eating the spiders that crawl along the walls.
Change the channel.
He waits and waits for ages. Finally, just as he's beginning to forget whether he's human or not, the Master comes for him, saying the time has come. Renfield is overjoyed.
Wait, isn't this?
The Master spreads his huge wings and a gust of wind fills the cell.
Come on, I don't want to hear this.
And there, standing before Renfield in human form was...
Dracula.
Exactly! If you stay there too long, your old buddy Dracula's going to come and get you too. So you better start thinking of a way out of there. You better not leave me without someone to talk to. Please, Snake, think. There's got to be a way out of there.
I'll try.
Okay. Just let me know if you start having nightmares about Dracula.
So this HD collection, which was re-released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, is pretty accurate for the most part. But there's one or two things that are missing, and that's one of them. Because, for those of you who don't know, if you save your game doing this bit, of course Paramedic gives you that conversation about Dracula, and Snake starts to get a little bit spooked. But if you save the game, quit, and then load it back up again, it begins with a minigame. It's kind of like Devil May Cry, the gameplay is, where it's kind of like a hack and slasher minigame, where you fight a bunch of vampires. I did do it once as a kid. It really took me off guard. I was like, well, you know, what is this? This isn't Metal Gear. But it's just one of those cool little surprises, one of those cool little Easter eggs. So you would save your game, and when you load it back up again, it would immediately begin with this little minigame, Devil May Cry minigame, where you fight a bunch of vampires. And they removed it from this HD collection. I'm not sure why. I guess they lost the rights to the minigame or something like that, I'm assuming. Because they did the same thing with MGS2, because MGS2 had a skateboarding minigame where you were skateboarding around the big shell, and they didn't include it on this PS3 re-release. I guess they lost the rights to it. Again, I'm just assuming, I don't know for sure, but I think it's something to do with the rights. And there's also another minigame which they didn't include. There was like an Ape Escape minigame where you would go around finding monkeys from the Ape Escape series. Again, that was on the PS2 version, wasn't included on this HD re-release. Again, I guess it's because they lost the rights, I don't know. I mean, it's not as if I spent a lot of time on the minigame, but it's, you know, it's a shame they didn't include it.
Chow time.
Okay, so there's multiple ways you can escape this cell. One of them is the same way you escape the cell from MGS1. You just hide under the bed when he leaves, and then when he comes back, he's wondering where you've gone. So he comes into the cell. That gives you a chance to escape. Another way you can escape, which is the way I'm going to use, is you can just use the frequency 14475 on the codec, which basically unlocks the door. And before I escape the cell, though, I just want to trigger a little bonus cutscene. We just have to wait for him to throw food to us 3 times. We've already got 2 items of food, so we just got to wait one more time. Okay, so after waiting for about a minute, he's finally given me one more item of food.
Huh? What? You don't want this?
So to trigger the cutscene, you just throw back 3 items of food, and that's it.
Hey, thanks.
And doing this cutscene is the 3rd and final time they give you the frequency 14475. Of course, there's other ways to escape the cell, but
It's your loss.
you know, it's one of the quicker ways to do it. And for those of you who don't know, that is Johnny's father from MGS 1, 2 and 4.
Hey, you're not such a bad guy after all. I guess not all Americans are dogs.
You mean it?
Yeah. You know, before the war started, I used to live in America. I even had a wife and a kid.
You must be pretty lonely.
Yeah, I am pretty lonely. Really lonely.
What's your kid's name?
Johnny.
Johnny. Nice ring to it.
Really? You like it? Well, if you say so, I'll believe you. Actually, my name is Johnny too. All the firstborn sons in my family are called Johnny. My dad's a Johnny, and my son's son will probably be a Johnny too.
The whole clan of Johnnies.
Why do we have a Cold War anyway? Our two countries used to be such good friends.
Yeah, I hear ya.
I just want to see my family again.
Must be rough.
Yeah. Not as rough as you have it, though. Here. I filched them from your equipment when the Colonel wasn't looking. It's the least I can do. Well?
Don't suppose you could let me out of here?
Huh? I can't do that. Hey, don't you go getting any funny ideas. If you try to escape, I'll have to shoot you. I've said too much. I gotta go.
Okay, so with that done, let's just leave this place. I'm assuming that you can escape the cell using those cigars somehow, but I'm not too sure how you do it. Maybe you just like spray it in his face when he's standing next to the bars. Where is he?
Did you manage to escape?
Yeah, I'm out.
Be careful. In your present state, you're practically naked. You don't have a single decent weapon, and you'll never survive in a battle. Take some time and pull yourself together. Eva says she's recovered your equipment, so rendezvous with her as soon as possible to get your gear back. Use the escape route Eva set up for you. Go down into the sewers through the manhole in the northwest section of Groznygrad. Start out by exiting the holding cells and heading northwest.
Oh, there he is. Okay, we can avoid him. Just about. I don't think he knows where I am. Okay, just one. Oh, it's the same one. Oh, I think the magazine on the left is new. I don't think I've seen that before. The one on the right isn't. So that's... Oh, never mind. I thought that was Silent Hill 3 just then. That looked like Heather from Silent Hill 3. I haven't played Silent Hill 3 yet, but, you know, everyone knows the character of Heather. I mean, you don't have to play Silent Hill 3 to know who she is. She's just one of those famous video game characters, and I can't knock him out with this. Stay still. Johnny? Yeah. Now, I've never once managed to sneak past this next segment without getting spotted. I always get spotted without fail. The other day when I lost all the footage, I did get very close to finishing it without getting spotted. But I got spotted right at the very end. I tried to CQC some guy. And it turns out you can't CQC anyone right now. Because I think it's because Snick is injured. I mean, he has a transmitter jammed in his back and his... I think... Oh yeah, I better heal that. Yeah, it was the bullets, I think. Well, all of these injuries. Basically, all of these injuries prevent you from using CQC. So when I tried to body slam someone, it didn't work. And that's what triggered the alert. If it wasn't for that, do I want to leave this in? Okay, I'll leave it in. And of course the boss put in a fake death pill. into the, whatever it's called, in the bullet. That's a cool thing. Because of course she wants you to escape. Why did you go around this way? And I get spotted right off the bat. I was expecting him to come around the side of the barrels that he saw me on, that would make sense. But nope, he had to go the other way. Well, that's gone out the window now, hasn't it? Trying to sneak through this section without getting spotted. That's over straight away. Kind of pissed off, to be honest, because the other day when I lost the footage, like I said, I got to the very last bit and then I got spotted. I was right by the manhole. That's when I got spotted. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I can actually do it this time. But nope. I didn't last long, did it? But you know, as I said before, MGS3 isn't a hard game. But I find it difficult in the sense I find it hard to sneak through without getting spotted. I can never ever get through it all without getting spotted. I fail every time. But it's easy in the sense that when you do get spotted, you're probably not going to die. I mean, Snake's health goes down very slowly. And as I always said, the environments in this game are like wide open spaces, so you have plenty of room to run around and avoid the guards. This is where I got to, and then a guard... Well, I was over there, in the middle of that road, like sneaking up behind a guard. And when I tried to CQC him, the CQC didn't work because I was injured, and I didn't realise that. And that transmitter I'm leaving inside of Big Boss right now, if you leave it inside you, it triggers a bonus cutscene coming up in a minute. But if you remove it, then the cutscene doesn't play. So I'm just leaving her in so we get a little bit more content. I think this is Eva calling you.
Snake, you're already in the sewers?
Eva, yeah, I just got down here. I'm coming to meet you now. The door at the north end is open, right?
Snake?
Let me guess. There's a problem.
Yeah.
What is it this time?
The Colonel found out you escaped.
He did, huh? I figured as much.
Yeah, and now all of Grozny Grad is on red alert.
Just my luck. But once I'm out of the fortress...
You can't get out.
I can't?
When the fortress went on red alert, they sealed off the sewers.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm serious. And that means the escape route I laid out is
sealed off too.
Right. And they just sent a unit out looking for you.
Down here?
Uh-huh. They'll be there any minute now. You've got to get out quick.
But isn't the exit sealed off?
You should be able to get out by heading straight north. Book it, Snake. If they find you, you're dead.
Okay, so we're in the sewers now. And I want to try this out. I've never tried it before. I don't know if MGS3 has this feature, but I'm going to give it a go. Oh, it does. Okay, I never knew that. So if a balcony is directly below another balcony, you can let go of the above balcony and then catch onto the lower one. That was something you could do in MGS2 and I always knew about it. But I never knew if you could actually do that in MGS3. And as I just demonstrated, you can. Just good to know. I've always wondered, so... And there's not many opportunities in MGS3 where you can try it out, so I just had to give it a go there. So this, I don't know, there's not much to say about this little sewer segment. No one likes sewer levels, or at least most people don't. Thankfully this is really short, and there's no enemies either. Well, there's dogs, but they don't present much of a challenge. You know, just roll into them and, you know, that's really it. Of course, the first time you play this, you can kind of get lost in this. I mean, it's kind of... It's not exactly a maze, I wouldn't exactly call it that, but there's one or two dead ends you can run into. But of course I know where I'm going, because I've played it a million times. And that's it, just run to the end and we get a great cutscene. And we're coming up to one of the most innovative boss fights I've ever seen in a video game. I say that, but I haven't played a lot of the really big famous games that everyone always talks about, like Devil May Cry. I've never played a Devil May Cry game. I've never played Kingdom Hearts or any Final Fantasy game beyond 4. So I've beaten 1, 2, and 4. I haven't beaten any others, although of course I intend to. It's just one of those things I never go around to doing.
I've been waiting for this. Nobody interfere. This is where it ends. Don't die on me yet.
So of course this is where the, this is the obligatory spooky sequence that every single MGS game has to have. I've heard the Phantom Pain is supposed to have a lot of spooky moments. Like the opening sequence where you're in that hospital in Cyprus that they showed off quite a bit of. That's supposed to be quite spooky, I've heard. And of course the skulls, those zombie kind of creatures that, we see plenty of them in the trailer. They look great. I can't wait. I just can't wait for the Phantom Pain.
Are you one of the Cobras?
Sad. So sad. A host of sorrows. And you are one of them. I am the Sorrow. Like you, I too am filled with sadness. This world is one of sadness. Battle brings death. Death brings sorrow. The living may not hear them. Their voices may fall upon deaf ears. But make no mistake, the dead are not silent. Now you will know the sorrow of those whose lives you have ended.
Okay, so this is a cool-ass boss fight. Well, I'm not sure if you can even call this a boss fight. I mean... I guess I prefer to call it a boss fight, but, it's a unique boss fight, obviously. But before we move on, let's just call everyone. Just to demonstrate to those who haven't played the game.
No!
This isn't happening. Snake! Snake! No. This...
Snake, what happened? Snake! Snake! Snake, what's your status? Snake! Snake!
Quit fooling around, Snake. Snake? Snake! Snake! What the hell happened? Snake! Snake!
I always thought that was the spookiest part of this segment. The fact that, you know, throughout the whole entire game, you've relied on these guys to give you help and offer you tips and guide you through the boss fights and through the game. And now you feel really isolated and alone in this, like, spooky dimension. I mean, you just call them and now, like, you can't even speak to them or contact them. That's what I thought was so spooky about this bit. And another really cool thing, which I didn't notice until Metal Gear Scanalon, is that if you go into your inventory, you actually have all your weapons again. Which, of course, is, you know, another hint. One thing which practically gives away the answer to this puzzle is this. You can remove every item from your inventory except for the revival pill. So that's essentially giving you the answer to the puzzle. Of course, if you shoot the soul, nothing happens. I mean, he's got no health in his health bar anyway. And for those of you who don't know, every single... Of course, these ghosts appear. Every single ghost that appears is of a person you've killed throughout the game. So if you get up to this point without killing a single person, there are no ghosts whatsoever. Except for the bosses. Regardless of whether or not you killed the bosses or used non-lethal means to kill them, they still appear during this segment. So of course we've got the pain here. And so the bosses do appear regardless of whether or not you used non-lethal weapons on them. But the amount of all of the guards that you've killed do spawn here. Of course, if you killed a lot of guards, it's a lot more difficult since there's going to be so many of them and it's a lot harder to avoid, obviously. But I think I only killed like 2 or 3 people, so there's not going to be much of them. And of course, this segment will last a very long time if you've killed a lot of them. But because I've barely killed anyone, this should be practically over within like a minute. So for you newcomers of MGS3, that's basically what the boss fight is. You're basically walking down the river. We got the fear there. The end should be coming up anytime now. And another cool thing about the ghosts that appear is that they all have the same injuries that you've inflicted upon the enemies. So if you shot a guy in the dick, there would be a ghost appearing here, like clutching his crotch and screaming in agony. And I love those jump scares as well. That's great. So if you slit a guy's throat, the people that the ghosts would appear with their throats slit as well. And of course on the mountaintop, if you kill a guy and then a vulture eats him, and then eats his body, and then you eat that vulture you just killed, so if you kill a guy on the mountain and then a vulture feasts on his body, then you kill that vulture and eat it, there will be a ghost appearing in this river with a vulture eating him. Just, the attention to detail is great. I let that hit me on purpose, of course. Got the Fury there. Now we should be coming up to the end now. As in, not the end boss, but as in, the end of this sequence. And this is the end of the river, and of course this is where we find our own dead body. Of course you get the game over screen, you press continue, and what happens? Just repeats. When I was a kid, it did take me a while to... I like how he says back again as well. When I was a kid, it did take me a while to figure out how to do this. It took me like, quite a while. I did figure it out eventually, but... The way I figured it out was, I didn't call them, but I accidentally hit one of the back buttons when I died. So of course the inventory popped up and I was like, wait, what's going on here? And then I realised I could use the revival pill. So you can either walk to the end of the river, and the game kills you if you reach the end of the river, or you can just drown yourself, which is a lot faster. So on the game over screen, you just use the revival pill to revive Snake. It's such a cool, you know, I just love it, it's great. Kojima's always creative with these kind of things. I really hope he pulls a really interesting fight with Psycho Mantis in the Phantom Pain.
Can't.
Shoot me. You want to finish your mission, don't you? Then you'll have to shoot me. The spirit of the warrior will always be with you. Don't be sad. We'll meet again someday.
I think it's, if you die 3 times, I think it's 3 times. It's a certain number of times. But if you die a certain number of times, and then call, you know, call everyone on the codec, they do flat out just tell you how to win. They basically, you know, just give you the answer to the puzzle straight away. Which is, you know, it's fair because, you know, you don't want a player to be stuck on this for ages if they can't figure it out. Oh shit, I almost missed it. Yeah, there he is. I almost forgot about that. Not only do you have to press R1, you have to move the analog stick in the right direction. You have to be really quick there, otherwise you miss it.
Snake, are you alright? That was a close call.
What the hell happened to me?
You were halfway drowned at the bottom of the river. Almost crossed over to the other side.
Other side. So that really was.
Something on your mind, Snake?
Major, was there a man in the Cobra unit called the Sorrow?
Yes, I've heard of him. He was an uncanny soldier who fought alongside the boss.
What kind of man was he?
The Sorrow was a man with, well, special powers. He had ESP, which was the subject of extensive research in the Soviet Union at the time. He was especially gifted as a medium.
A medium?
Someone who can communicate with the spirit world and evoke the spirits of the dead. In other words, he could talk to ghosts. They say he could find out what was going on in a battle by talking to dead soldiers.
What about him and the boss? What was the story between them?
I don't know the details. Why don't we ask Sigurd?
Yo, I finished checking up on this Sorrow guy a while ago. Thought you guys already knew, though.
Knew what?
That he's dead. He's been dead for 2 years now.
Died 2 years ago?
At Selino Yarsk. You know, those cliffs you were at. And the boss is the one who did him in.
The boss?
Yep. 2 years ago, the boss was sent by the CIA on a secret mission to Selino Yarsk. That's when she met the Sorrow, who'd gone back to the Soviet Union after
Or the philosophers.
at the end of the war. Except this time they were enemies.
And then what?
The boss killed the Sorrow herself and accomplished her mission. At least, that's what the records say.
So, he was never there in the first place. He just couldn't let go of the boss.
You okay, Snake?
Yeah, I'm fine. It looks like it's not time for me to die yet.
I sure hope not. Otherwise, the whole mission is shot. We're counting on you, pal.
Roger that. Eva?
Snake, you didn't call. I was worried. Are you all right?
Yeah, I took a pretty freaky detour.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Forget it. Let's just say I'm back.
Good. But how did you escape from the sewers?
I jumped into the river.
From all the way up there? You're out of control.
Yeah, I got carried away by the current and almost drowned.
Great. That's perfect.
What do you mean that's perfect?
I mean, if you ended up in the river, then I know a good spot nearby. Let's meet up there.
Where is it?
Keep going upstream until you get to a waterfall.
A waterfall, huh?
Right. Behind that waterfall, there's a cave. We'll meet in there.
The cave behind the waterfall upstream. Got it.
See you there.
before I move on, I just want to trigger a certain codec conversation with Major Zeo.
The waterfall.
Not that one. Not that one.
Major, I dug out the bullet the boss shot into me.
Yes?
There was a fake death pill inside.
A fake death pill?
Yeah. What does it mean?
I haven't a clue. I wonder if it's meant to help you escape from the cell.
You're
Oh yeah, that was one way, another way to escape from the cell, of course.
Why?
If you don't know, how am I supposed to know?
Okay, that wasn't the optional codec thing I wanted
Snake?
to trigger. I think it's this.
Snake!
What?
Yeah, this is the one, I think.
Oh, Major, what do you want?
What happened? You've been acting strangely ever since you were washed down the river.
I'm fine.
I disagree.
Really?
Yes. Did something happen to you in that river?
No.
Don't lie, Snake. I'm trying to help you.
All right. But you might not believe me when I tell you.
I'll believe it. I trust you.
Okay, then. When I was in that river,
Yes?
I saw the other side.
The other side?
Yeah.
And by the other side, you mean...
Well, the world of the dead, I guess.
Oh.
And the sorrow was there. He was sad. No, more than that. He said I was part of his sorrow.
I see. Snake, would you excuse me for a moment?
Huh? Sure.
Paramedic, what in the hell is wrong with Snake?
Beats me. Maybe he got a nasty bump on the head.
You really think that's all?
What are you implying?
Major.
I mean, he's always been a little bit different. I thought maybe...
Good point. I was just thinking that myself.
Major!
What is it, Snake?
I can hear you.
Well, in any case, I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah, me too. It's good to see you're back to, normal.
Okay, now I'll move on. Another collectible frog by there. Which of course, I'm not going to bother again. Okay, so back during the torture scene, Ocelot shoved the transmitter into Snake's back. And if you don't dig her out, and you get to the waterfall, it triggers a bonus cutscene. If you dig her out and then get to the waterfall, well, that cutscene doesn't play. Oops, I can't believe I just did that. But the price you pay for leaving the transmitter in and triggering the cutscene is the fact that you can't use CQC. You know, I guess because it's in his back, I guess, you know, that inhibits his ability, you know, to fight, of course. That makes sense. And not only that, it also means you have to sneak past these soldiers outside the waterfall, because they are following the signal of the transmitter, so they know where you are. And this guy's just, about time. It took a while to turn around. But yeah, but of course they are following the signal that the transmitter is giving them, so they know where you are, so they're trying to ambush you by here. Otherwise, there would be no soldiers by here, and you can just go straight to the waterfall without any problem. And especially since I can't do CQC, I think it's safe to say I'm going to get spotted. I mean, I could shoot them. I could try and use this. I'll use that as my last resort. Is that guy still there? Yeah. Okay, what? Oh yeah, there he is. That was the guy that spotted me when I tried to do this the other day when I lost the footage. I'm ready for him this time. I'm not sure how I'm going to get past the guy right by the waterfall though. It doesn't seem as if he's moving either. Oh wait, he does move slightly. Damn, these guys take a while to turn around. Yep, the other guy's coming this way. I've never taken this route before. Or at least I don't remember ever taking this route. This is probably the way you're supposed to take if you want to try and be stealthy and sneak past them. This probably gives you the... You know, this... Oh god, never mind. That went out the window. At the bottom of that little body of water there is actually a camo. But it only appears after this cutscene. So when this cutscene ends, you can backtrack. And then you can find the camo at the bottom of the water. One of the trophies for this game was to get every single camo in the game. Which, you know, I did get, of course. So I have gotten every single camo in the game once before, but I can't remember the location of every single one off the top of my head. I remember the location of one or two. But it's not as if I'm going to go out my way to get them all. Like, this, you know, there's no need. I'm not going for a completionist run, so...
Nice to meet you, Snake. I'm Tatiana. Here's your equipment.
Eva, you could use a towel.
So could you.
I'm sure there's one or two R1 moments coming up here.
Want some?
No thanks.
Don't like snakes?
No.
I'm sure they spent a lot of time on this model of Eva.
Didn't you have to eat them at the KGB?
In my training, we always got the good stuff. French, Italian, that kind of thing.
A regular Mata Hari.
The least you could do is call me Cynthia.
Tell me something. How does it feel to spy on your own country?
I can't say it feels good, but it's my job.
Can't even eat a snake during a mission, huh?
I wouldn't mind eating you.
And this is one of those scenes you hope to God your parents don't walk in on.
When this mission's over, you'll have to treat me to a nice dinner.
What do you want to eat?
Let's see. How about sushi?
Sushi?
It's Japanese. I hear it's all the rage right now. Supposedly it's made from raw fish.
Raw fish? Just the place for my survival techniques.
Another R1 moment. I never understood the significance of the butterfly. I guess it's supposed to be symbolic or something like that, but I never caught on to it.
Thank you, Snake. I'll be your eyes from now on.
I'm searching and I'm melting to you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme.
Thank you, Snake.
Don't worry about it.
Are you all right?
It's not like I can't see. I've got one good eye and can still fire a gun.
Really? Good.
And this is the bonus cutscene.
Snake,
So if you removed the transmitter earlier, this would not play.
There's something in here. It's so hard.
When did it get like that?
Hold still. Let me do it.
You know, I've been trained to do this kind of thing myself.
Just relax and let me handle it.
Okay.
I can't believe how small it is.
Yeah, but it gets the job done.
Really? Here, lift up your hips.
Like this?
Yeah. How's that?
You're pretty good at that.
Yeah, everybody tells me that. Hold steady, I'm not done yet. There, a transmitter.
Is that how they do it in the KGB?
Sometimes. Would you rather I did it American style?
But how'd you know there was a transmitter lodged there? That's some female intuition you've got. Eva, didn't you steal some explosives out of the fortress?
C3, a highly potent explosive from the west. It can be molded into any shape, like clay. With just this much, you could blow up the Shagohod and the lab along with it.
Is that right?
Yeah, but there's a trick to using it.
Tell me about it.
Well, what do you think? The Shagohod's booster unit uses liquid fuel. The fuel tanks are in the main wing of the weapons lab in the hangar housing the Shagohod itself.
So I should blow up the tanks.
That's the basic idea. It should be enough to blow up the entire hangar. There are 4 fuel tanks. In order to destroy the hangar, you'll have to set explosives on each of those tanks.
All 4 of them?
It should be no sweat for you. Besides, the scientists had the day off today.
So the hangar's completely deserted.
Not quite. They've still got guards posted there.
So what do I do after I set the C3?
The bombs run off a timer. Once the timer has been set, the countdown will begin. When the timer reaches 0, the bombs will all go off at once.
How long do I have?
20 minutes. Once the Phase 2 trials are finished, I wouldn't be surprised if they kill all the scientists to prevent them from talking. So you've got to act fast.
I'll take care of it.